Hello, guys. I'm a woman and I disagree with Paige Conneil, who definitely manipulated and trained her husband to be the best man in the world. Each couple has its own rules and its own life plan and living strategy, but Paige did everything publicly. She literally humiliates the identity of her husband. I personally don't know who is her husband, where he works, and what he does. And what does he basically thinks about all the situation around her TikTok. But if I were in his shoes, I would feel too embarrassed and ashamed. Like I'm a trained poor teen, and I would like to give you my reaction on this TikTok and on some other of them. So please don't forget to subscribe and give me some up.
I've been with my husband for almost 20 years, but about 3 years ago, I was strongly considering divorce, and I want to talk to you about why. So, I'm going to tell you the story of the day where I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to do this anymore. My husband and I had 4 kids. We both worked full time. We had been together for 16 years at this point. We've been together since high school. And on paper, I have an amazing husband. He is incredibly supportive. He's kind. He's loyal. He's a great dad. He's very hands on. He's an active participant. He's always present. Like on paper, what else could I ask for? But in reality, my experience is very similar to the experience of other women. I had this amazing husband who on paper was great, but I was incredibly frustrated and burnt out from our marriage and from motherhood. Because what happens to so many of us is that we marry these amazing men and we have amazing relationships and then we have kids. And when we have kids, women tend to carry a disproportionate amount of the work in the home, the work of raising kids, and the mental load. And that is exactly what happened to us. About 3 months after my fourth baby was born, I remember looking at my husband and saying, I need more. I need you to do more. I am exhausted. I am in charge of everyone and everything in this house. Every night when we cook dinner, you ask me what to make. Every day when you drop off the kids at daycare, you ask me what they need in their backpacks. I am the project manager of this home and I need you to do more. And he looked at me and he said, okay, just tell me what to do.
So we have a woman who literally has a very good husband. He is helpful, he is a good man, he supports her. But here is see that for Paige it isn't enough. She wants more and she demands more from her husband. And she declares it online. She tells her intimate family story to everyone. She gets out her daughter laundry on a public. I think that it doesn't provide any kind of health environment to her home. It's not a family role model for her kids that their mom discusses sensitive question with her TikTok audience. And even if I would agree with the common idea of her TikTok, but I wouldn't agree to discuss it publicly. But let's be honest, if we set aside from that specific woman and her story and look at a bigger picture, household and finance and responsibilities is one of the most touchy subjects in modern relationships. Traditionally, women have always been the ones in charge of domestic life, raising kids, handling the shopping, managing the budget. And yes, managing the budget isn't a sleep because historically, especially in middle and upper class families, women were the ones doing the family accounting. In lower income households, well, there wasn't much to account for in the first place. Fast forward to today when women are educated and working just like men, it's not so simple anymore. And let's face it, women have stepped into the traditional male role of bringing home the bacon. They're hunting their own mammals now, too. And because of that, most families can afford more and live more comfortably. In today's economy, having just one breadwinner isn't realistic for most couples. Rent, mortgages, bills, kids, the cost of just existing. It usually takes two income just to stay afloat, never mind thrive. That part pretty clear. We have to work, so we do. But what about everything that comes after work? How do we split household duties? Is it based on who earns more? Should it be a straight 50-50 sleep? Feel free to drop your own setups in the comment. How do you and your partner share responsibilities at home? And let's not forget about the couples with kids, especially when a woman is on maternity leave. Should the husband be stepping up more? Here's the thing, a lot of conflicts come from outdated beliefs and internalized rules. You know, the one. Back in the day, women gave birth in the fields, worked from dawn till dusk, and didn't complain. Okay, but let's not romanticize misery. That era didn't offer happiness for anyone, not women, not men. If we're being honest, most people, especially working class and peasants, lived in survival mode, not exactly chasing joy. And wealthier folks? They weren't out in the field giving birth. They had nannies, maids, cooks, and an entire support system. Funny how people always drew moral inspiration from the group that had it the hardest, and if we're trying to drag ourselves into the same suffering just to earn something. Today, no woman is dragging water from a well or scrubbing clothes in a river. But let's be fair, men aren't out chopping wood, fixing roofs, shoring shoring hoses either. Modern life made everyone's domestic load lighter. But in traditional families, men let go of their roles thanks to progress, and women didn't. Sure, it is not as hard as it used to be, but the daily grind of cooking, cleaning, shopping, organizing, especially with kids, is still there. Every day. And no, a man shouldn't act like housework has nothing to do with him. But let's be real, the 50-50 model isn't a one size fits all solution either. It's only reality works. Both parents earn roughly the same. Both put in similar hours and energy at work. They either don't have kids yet, or the kid is older and goes to daycare or school, or the child is being fully cared for by a nanny. Yeah, if your career stages are aligned and income is balanced, 50-50 works beautifully. But what happens when things shift? One partner starts earning more, one of you works longer hours, a baby is born and mom takes time off, or someone's job is physically exhausting, like the woman in that viral TikTok. That's when fairness gets tricky. Saying whoever earns more does less at home. That's a straight shot to resentment and honestly emotional manipulation. And it doesn't matter if it's the husband or wife making more, even when families plan for these changes, like saving up for a future maternity leave. Sometimes life hits hard anyway. For the record, the idea of having a baby fund is great, but both parents should contribute to it because if only the woman's budgeting for it while the guy isn't, that's not teamwork. That's economic solo survival. Not cool. Bottom line, a home is a shared space, shared responsibilities, shared emotional labor. No, it won't be perfectly 50-50, and trying to force that can turn your marriage into a competitive roommate dynamic, complete with chore charts and passive aggressive shorekeeping. It's not about exact math. It's about respect, empathy, and flexibility. Because when one partner starts feeling like they are pulling more weight financially or domestically and other don't care, that's where tension simmers and love quietly starts checking the exit. So here's a reminder, why didn't you start building a life together in the first place? Don't let trendy social media soundbites convince you that your relationship is about who owes what. You're not business partners dividing office chores, you're a team. Act like it. And now, I just want to add a little comment in Matt Walsh direction. He criticized Paige, saying that she works from home and can quit her job anytime, while her husband has to work.
Why does Paige work? Well, she works first and foremost, you heard her say it, because she wants to, because she enjoys it, because it gives her purpose. On the other hand, if you asked Paige's husband why he works, he would likely give the same answer that almost any husband and father would give. Go up to any man, ask him why he has a job. Okay, I guarantee you he's not going to say, well, first and foremost, I work because it gives me purpose. No, he will say that he works because he needs to provide for his family. He works because he has to. Paige works because she wants to. The pressure and burden of providing for the family still falls primarily on him, even if her income is equal or almost equal or even greater than his, because she could quit her job if she wanted to. He cannot. He's the backstop. He's the cornerstone. He works because he must.
That it's his duty to go out, earn money, and feed the family. For him, work isn't about passion or self development, it's just about keeping food on the table. Okay, but here's the thing, I think Matt being more than a little biased here. So just because Paige's husband works for electric company, if I understood correctly, that automatically makes his job mandatory and serious? But because Paige works from home, running her own coaching business and helping other women, it's suddenly because he's this casual little side hustle she can drop anytime. Here, I have some questions because I've seen plenty of stories where it's actually the man who quits his job and doesn't give a single thought about how his wife will handle things or how the kids will be fed. He just walks out like, I'm tired, peace. And let's be real, how many men have straight up abandoned their families just because they felt like it? So when people say women aren't as responsible for the family's well-being as men, I call BS. That's not just unfair, it's outdated and frankly sexist. The only reason Paige is being dragged is because she went a little overboard in trying to create equality at home and then made the grave mistake of putting it on the public for the internet to feast on. Oh, so yeah, did she overshare? Maybe. But does it make her the villain in this whole working wife fear working husband conversation? Absolutely not. Let's not pretend this was about responsibility. It's about who society still believes is allowed to set boundaries and who is expected to just keep going. No questions asked. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and give me thumbs up. See you next video. Bye.